Howdy y'all, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Bran Castle, better known as Vlad the Impaler's Castle, or simply Dracula's Castle. This is an abundant, fortified retreat situated high in the hills separating Transylvania from Wallachia. Interestingly, the historical Dracula did not reside here permanently, and the Bran Castle was said not to have been the inspiration for the fictitious Castle of Dracula, as depicted in Bram Stoker's gothic horror classic, Dracula. So how did this mysterious yet real castle become synonymous with Dracula? Let's take a look at the current narrative and try to find out. As we dive into the most detailed photographs of Bran Castle, we will focus on the oldest photographs I could locate, from museums, private collections, and architectural forums, as well as a few more modern images which will give us a better understanding and more details of the intricacies of this ancient fortification. We will also look at the families who are said to have owned the castle throughout the years, according to the current narrative. Bran Castle is a medieval style castle, yet it is said to have even earlier origins, tracing back thousands of years. As the majority of historical Transylvania falls under Romanian control, Bran Castle is considered today to be one of the most important castles in all of Romania. The earliest documents of a fortification at this location date back to the year 1212. However, artifact evidence suggests numerous centuries of previous occupation. This location was the only known entrance to the somewhat treacherous mountain pass and had thus been used for millennia as the crossing point for the tribes who called this region home. In the year 1212, we're told the Teutonic Knights on mission are said to have discovered the mountain pass, and noting its strategic importance and previous occupation, were said to have constructed a large but wooden fortification here. The knights had been led to this mountain pass under command of Dietrich, also recorded in Latin as Theodorici. Thus, the newly founded fortification in the mountain pass was named Dietrichstein, literally meaning Dietrich Stone. An interesting title, given the original knight's fort was said to be built of simple wood, with one unique well which supplied water for this entire fortification. In the years that follow, we have numerous other documents, including Knights Templar reports found in 1509, claiming the area surrounding the castle known today as Bran was first controlled by Commander Dietrich of the Teutonic Order, followed by his descendants. This is where we hit our first conflicting report in the narrative. We're told the original fort Dietrichstein was besieged and sacked by the Mongolian army in 1242, leaving little of the wooden fort left standing. At this point, history then seems to go dormant as Dietrichstein, or the Stone of Dietrich, an apparently wooden and not stone fort, is left to the Dietrich family for many decades after the Mongolian kerfuffle. But little is discussed of any rebuilding of the fort, before it is then seemingly found abandoned in the late 1370s. Officially listed on November 19, 1377, the ruined castle of Dietrichstein is handed over to the Saxons by Louis I of Hungary, who had come into possession of the ruined castle. Louis of Hungary gives the Saxon royalty the castle under the auspices that the Saxons rebuild a larger castle, capable of both defense and large-scale trade. To my understanding, this would imply that the earlier castle of Dietrichstein was more than just a simple wooden structure, and as we look at the foundations of the current Bran Castle, you will see why. By the 14th century, the Saxons assembled a large workforce of their own people, also establishing the town of Bran surrounding the castle. The castle was built resting at the apex on one side of this mountainous pass. The Saxons are mainly attributed to the castle's construction that still stands today, an intricate and innovative castle. However, the major details of their construction are few and far between. Shortly after the Saxons finished this castle, we then have the family of Vlad Dracula coming into possession of the castle. Interestingly, we're told it was not Vlad himself who lived at the Bran Castle, but instead it was his brother, Mircea the Elder. Vlad was not the direct heir to the throne of Wallachia, but is infamous for usurping the throne from his brother Mircea in 1394, leading what some call a reign of terror, but what many historians claim was sensationalized. Vlad's tumultuous reign would last only 3 years. Mentions of him passing through but never living at the Bran Castle exist. When Mircea was reinstated into power after Vlad's demise, he ruled Wallachia to its greatest territorial extent in history, while also living in the Bran Castle. Along with the surrounding city of Bran, the castle was used to establish this location as a hub for large-scale trade. As we look at some of the older photographs of the castle, we can find that there were entrances within the lower portions of the rock. There were entrances to subterranean layers. By the year 1450, the massive Bran Castle had fallen into the hands of the Hungarian kings. However, by the time of King Vladislav of Hungary in the year 1471, the Hungarian government had failed to repay loans owed to Bran Castle, which included the surrounding community. From the year 1533 through the late 1700s, Bran Castle was the key defensive and trade hub of the greater area, which became known as Brasov, playing important military and strategic roles to Greater Transylvania. Here is where we get to the tragic and astoundingly brief summary of what has occurred in this most famous castle in Transylvania through modern times. By the late 1800s, Bran Castle had fallen into disrepair and was no longer being used as a trade hub and considered to be an ineffective fort. I am not quite sure how this could be possible by looking at the size and location of this fort alone, but I digress. Through the First World War, the Bran Castle and the surrounding fallen fortress played little importance. However, the strategic location of the ancient and overgrown fort made it a key piece in later peace negotiations. In 1920, Hungary officially lost the ancient region of Transylvania, and with it, Bran Castle, to the Kingdom of Romania. The rulers of Hungary were said to have had no use for the mostly buried and destroyed castle following World War I, and found its upkeep a burden, finding solace in letting it go. However, when she first laid eyes upon it, the Romanian princess Marie Alexandra Victoria, who became the last official queen of Romania, insisted on extensive renovations and rebuilds of the Bran Castle. Her goal was to bring the ancient castle that had stood as a beacon for Transylvanian pride back to its former glory. According to most narratives, this was successful. The queen's daughter, Princess Ileana of Romania, who was great-granddaughter to Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom, great-granddaughter to Emperor Alexander II of Russia, and the great-granddaughter of both King Ferdinand II and Queen Maria II of Portugal, then dedicated her life to converting the great Bran Castle into a state-of-the-art Romanian hospital. By 1940, Bran Castle Hospital became one of the largest and most prestigious in Romania. This hospital played a key role during World War II, serving as, amongst other things, a blood bank. Princess Ileana is also immortalized as she organized the Girl Guide movement, the official Girl Scouts of Romania, an organization which still operates throughout Romania today. For all the work Ileana did for Romania and the Castle brand, which was from where she conducted these numerous good deeds and organizations, the Castle Hospital was seized from her family during the communist regime of 1948. During this time, Ileana and the royal family fled the nation. It was only in the year 2005 that the Romanian government allowed seized properties to be returned to their rightful owners. The Bran Castle, with its centuries of memories, was awarded to Dominic von Habsburg, also known as Dominic I, the living son and heir of Princess Ileana. On June 1, 2009, the Habsburgs opened the refurbished castle to the public as the first privately owned museum in Romania and presented a joint strategic concept on collaboration with the Bran village to maintain the prominent role of the castle in the Romanian tourist circuit and to safeguard the history of the castle and the region moving forward. And that's about all I have for today, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This castle definitely appears to be much older and much more intricate than this narrative gives it credit for. I believe we have a lot of subterranean layers here, and I believe that is where this myth of Dracula ties in with the greater Bran Castle. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video.